Hello everyone and welcome. In today's video, we have a lot of Tears of the Kingdom official news, as well as several rumors and leaks. We have timestamps on screen if you want to skip straight to one of them. If you enjoy this video and want to stay up to date on all Zelda news and rumors, please consider subscribing and give this video a like, as well as check out our weekly Zelda and gaming podcast, the Hylian Gamescast, where we have had many different people who have worked on the Zelda series and throughout the gaming industry on as guests. And we talk about all of that week's big news, rumors, leaks, and answer questions from all of you. Now, I have a question for all of you. Comment below and let us know which new feature, gameplay mechanic, or abilities you would like to see, and we will discuss your best answers on the next episode of our Hylian Gamescast. If I mention a past piece of news, or quickly move on from something that you haven't heard yet, you'll be able to find a full video explaining it in the description below or in the cards above. 1. Tears of the Kingdom voiceovers are now finished, and may have been for a long time. Our first news story is a mix of official news and some older rumors. The official news comes directly from Nintendo of Latin America. In a video on their Facebook and Instagram pages, they have announced the Spanish dub of Tears of the Kingdom has begun. However, leaks directly from a voice actor from the Italian dub has already leaked a few details, new characters, including one that he voices, from his time recording the Italian version of the dub, which he did before May of 2022. Another leak, all the way back in 2021, we also had rumors or leaks from others claiming to have worked on the game, telling us most of the work on the script had been finished, and a large number of the localization team has moved on to another game with a few staying behind, and voice work was about to begin. You can find this video and all other videos we reference in the description below or in the cards above. Although this all may seem to conflict with each other, it could be easily explained by certain regions or languages and actually beginning all the way back in 2021. Since many countries were partially shut down at the time, a lot of voice actors were only able to work from home, which means you either needed expensive professional equipment or be forced to wait until they could visit the recording studio to work on their dub. This is something we learned during our interviews with several of the Breath of the Wild and Age of Calamity voice actors. They also mentioned those games required multiple sessions spread out over months for the primary dub. Then they were called back to record new lines or retakes of lines that could have been better, and that they didn't finish until a few months before the games released. Waiting a few more months, then starting on the dubbing process for the DLC. So my thought is that some of the voice actors in different countries were able to begin as early as 2021, came back for updated sessions in 2022, and others simply haven't finished yet, due to the localization in their country starting at a later date. So I strongly believe Nintendo of Latin America is only being half true by saying voice work on the Spanish dub has begun. Yes, technically true, it has begun, but I don't think it did so recently, as they may want us to believe. 2. Tears of the Kingdom has received an ESRB rating and a Pegi rating, which I actually found. This leads into our second piece of official news that confirms voice acting has been mostly done for a long time for certain languages, or at least mostly done. Tears of the Kingdom has received its age rating in South Korea, and recently by the ESRB. I was also checking on different versions of Nintendo's website in Japan, China, Italy, basically every country. And something no one has reported on yet is that it actually also has its Pegi rating in the UK. This is important because the rating, especially with the ESRB ratings, they require a majority of the game to be complete, a questionnaire and a video on the game to be provided, which includes cutscenes and voiceover work, if in the game. Most games take around 45 minutes for the process to be completed from what the official ESRB website says, but larger or more mature games can take hours or days. They also state the video provided needs to contain any gameplay or cutscenes, especially those which may be more mature or violent and extreme. And developers or publishers can even get fined a lot of money for not providing information or video of certain content that people may think would be disturbing or too graphic. With the ESRB, Tears of the Kingdom has the same rating as Breath of the Wild, a 10+. So it's unlikely the tone of the content will be much different than Breath of the Wild. Diving into the rating information, the ESRB lists the reason for the rating as fantasy violence and mild suggestive themes. An interesting detail that was in Breath of the Wild's ESRB rating, but not the sequel, is the use of alcohol. You may not have even realized there was alcohol in the game, since Link wasn't able to obtain it. However, Nintendo has had a long-running joke of milk sometimes being substituted for alcohol, the most well-known being the milk bar in Majora's Mask. Nintendo has promised Tears of the Kingdom to be the darkest Zelda game. But with this rating, a lot of fans seem to be worried or thinking the game isn't going to be as good because it didn't get a teen rating, which they really don't need to. And this is why. For comparison, Breath of the Wild has several sexual jokes and extreme violence. With the same 10+ rating, the ESRB states, a few bodies appear to be impaled by spears. The game contains some mildly suggestive material, fairies with moderate cleavage and/or exaggerated sized breasts, dialogue such as, I get to see a young hunk draw a bow again, and if I have to have something pounce on me, why couldn't it be a lady? During the course of the game, a shop owner tells Link that she only serves drinks that are definitely just for adults. Players can also encounter a drunken character that occasionally hiccups. And there are plenty of other sexual or really violent scenes. While Twilight Princess did get a T rating, it was only for similar content. Colorful liquid coming from certain enemies when hit, acting as blood, and of course the sword fights, which Skyward Sword and most Zelda games have. Even Wind Waker goes beyond this, with literally impaling Ganondorf in the face, as does Ocarina of Time with Ganon. Pegi rated both Breath of the Wild and Twilight Princess as 12, the ESRB who has given Twilight Princess a T rating. And people like to think this is because Twilight Princess is simply more mature. When it comes down to it, it has the same content we see in most other Zelda games, and other rating boards actually give it the same rating as plenty of other Zelda games. Australia even gave Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, and Age of Calamity all mature ratings. Japan even adds Link's Awakening to its more mature rating of B. Now, this is something that a lot of people have been upset about online. Let me know what you all think about it. 3. A lot of rumors suggest a flood of Zelda news is going to be coming starting in February. Honestly, this is just common knowledge. I don't think it's much of a leak as it is an educated guess. Nintendo has almost always had a Nintendo Direct in February, and the Tears of the Kingdom releases a month before E3. So I imagine we will see a very similar few months as we did pre-launch of Breath of the Wild, with Tears of the Kingdom getting its own directs and events. For the simple reason, they won't be able to wait until E3 to show it off. Now, they might be able to do that with bonus features or DLC, so it's obvious Tears of the Kingdom will be getting its own big event beforehand. 4. Tears of the Kingdom online multiplayer. This rumor comes from either 4chan or the Fami boards, and while the president of Nintendo and others including Aonuma and Miyamoto have stated during the release of Breath of the Wild and at other times, they want to make a Triforce Heroes style online multiplayer game with the engine of Breath of the Wild. And to clear this up, yes, we did get Age of Clams, but it wasn't in the same engine, it didn't have the same gameplay, and it wasn't online multiplayer like Triforce Heroes. So I don't think this is what they were referring to. And several times, they have also stated how important DLC and online functionality would be moving forward for bigger games. But sadly, I think this is just another guess or troll using this fake GameStop announcement to try and give credibility to their rumor. I have friends who work at and manage GameStops, and they haven't received any information that the general public haven't. With that said, I do think Tears of the Kingdom will have some sort of online functionality or multiplayer. I'm just not sure on the direction this will take. But I do have a video here going over a clever idea to connect Age of Clams and Breath of the Wild to your save file in Tears of the Kingdom. 5. Tears of the Kingdom OLED leaked. I'm sure everyone has heard of this by now. I've seen debates online on whether it is real or fake. After a lot of you have reached out and asked me to, I have a friend who translated the Zonai text from the trailers and is working on this image. But she says it just seems to be the same symbols or runes from the dragon image, although they are a bit clearer, which may help her in giving a more accurate translation in the overall process. It just seems like the same symbols or runes from the dragon image. I also think it is too early for production for Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switches to begin, maybe sometime closer to mid-February or early March, based on the process Nintendo has had in the past with other limited and special edition consoles. It's also important to see we have no new artwork or details anywhere on the leaked OLED box. It is all assets available to anyone who wants them, and almost anyone with the right equipment could make this. Thank you all so much for watching the video, and please, if you made it this far, consider subscribing and commenting below. It really does help us out. Hello everyone, I just want to say thank you for watching the video all the way through. Some of you have been asking, and yes, we still have shirts and other merch available at teespring.com. You can find a link in the description below. If you purchase one and send us a picture wearing it, we will give you a shout out and include your picture during one of our upcoming videos. Thank you to our amazing Patreon supporters, starting off with our royal family, Shadow to Us. On our champion tier, Justin Clark, Monica Spath, SoberX. In the Sheikah tier, Andremoy, Joseph, Natsu, Wrecker1, Rusty Caulfield, Tremel. And in the Kokiri tier, Gene Pinna, Chad Costin, David Guthman, Candy, Disappointment, Gus Calvo, Zane, Lean, Lovable Christie, Mr. Monocled Metroid, and whoever this is only donated to hear Jesse speak my name. Thank you all so much. If any of you would like your name to be featured at the end of any of our videos, or to get a shout out at the beginning of our Zelda podcast, the Hylian Gamescast, and to have any of your topics or questions answered or turned into a full video to be featured here on our channel, along with many other things, please join our Patreon and help support the channel. Thank you all so much. Happy Halloween.